Thank you for coming. Information is everywhere. Today's world of phones, television, and the internet ensures that everyone, everywhere, will be constantly bombarded with new information. Whether it be advertising, headlines, the news, there has never been more information available to us at any time in history.
If you remember the book Fahrenheit 451, it serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when technology replaces free thought and free expression. The machines that give people their news and the story deliver it so quickly that the people do not have time to question the information they're given. In today's digital age, we have a very similar problem.
While there is lots of information available, are we truly aware because of it? What does it mean to be aware in a digital age? How do we sift through the piles of info, sift through the garbage, and reach a sort of digital nirvana? The enlightenment of finding the truthful, accurate, and well-informed information on the internet.
Awareness is defined as three different components:
Knowledge, perspective, and staying well-informed.
Being truly aware in the digital age requires you to keep a balance of all three. The information you receive in your everyday life should have a balance of knowledge, perspective, and accuracy.
Let's take a look at the main problem and gift of a digital age. Information is everywhere, and by extension, so is knowledge. It is practically force-fed to us.
If you own an iPhone, you are very accustomed to random notifications from your news app. These notifications present you with a new article to read at least twice a day. If you bother to read that article, you'll probably get stuck in an endless loop of reading the whole article, getting to the bottom of the page, and clicking another.
We are gaining knowledge, but let's look at perspective and staying well informed just for a moment.
By reading more and more, one would assume you would gain a variety of different perspectives all at once. But are we really? If you're reading the news, you're likely reading from a news source that caters to your beliefs. Sources like CNN and Fox News lean towards a certain end of the political spectrum. We call this phenomena subscriber-driven content. The source makes content the subscriber base wants to see. One of the best examples of this is Twitter news feeds. The information presented is biased. The subscriber already has decided to subscribe to the information and views of the Twitter user. Twitter subscribers are not seeing the world from more than one point of view, as they are receiving information based on their biases. The Twitter account that posts the information dictates the knowledge you are given, and that will probably have some ongoing bias. It is difficult for a Twitter user to see the world from another perspective. Twitter users find pleasure in affirming their beliefs through the sources they subscribe to. They would find pain in seeing their beliefs being incorrect, so they simply avoid the other point of view. Does this make us well informed? If we can't see the world from another perspective by limiting ourselves to only one point of view, the answer is no. To achieve knowledge, perspective, and staying well informed, don't get your information from subscriber-driven content. There will always be an inherent bias in these sources, and it is our job to see past our own biases to be truly aware.
Let's take a look at another common pitfall of awareness in a digital age. It's that information is often false.
Clickbait can really sneak up on you. I recently read a seemingly harmless Business Insider article that presented itself as knowledge-based, perspective-driven, and well-informed. This Business Insider article has a lot to unpack. First, we note that Fox News viewers are less aware of the world around them than people who didn't watch any news at all. While this could be a damning piece of evidence against the awareness people have in the digital age, we have to put the study into context. Firstly, the study was a relatively small sample size for studies. It only surveyed 8,000 or so people in New Jersey. That is a small sample size from only one area. The study in general isn't the final piece to a big puzzle that is presented as in the article title. Rather, it is merely a tidbit from a localized questionnaire. The clickbait in the title of the article prevents us from seeing the true content of the article. In this Business Insider article, Fox News is presented in the title as the key focus of the article. By only reading the title, people would not know that the study also outlined talk radio, CNN, and NPR. Technically, the study itself isn't misinformation, but it is misleading. Someone like me, who wants every opportunity to affirm my center-left views, this survey just doesn't do it for me. When we apply perspective to this article, we see that CNN viewers didn't fare much better than Fox News viewers. An article like this is appealing to someone like me, because the title presents itself as an article confirming our suspicions that the other end of the spectrum is beneath us. But once again, that's my own bias getting in the way of awareness. After reading the article and checking up on the study it reports on, I know that it's knowledge that isn't well-informed or perspective-driven. Awareness in a digital age needs knowledge, perspective, and to be well-informed. This article didn't have that, and I should have avoided it entirely.
So, how do we remove our biases? Well, we need a critical lens. To help you achieve awareness, my friends, I bring you PolitiFact.
The Poynter Institute created PolitiFact simply because there is so much information on the internet, and it has to be someone's job to help sift through the possible information. The existence of PolitiFact and the supplementary perspective that it provides are an example of both the awareness, the internet, and subsequent technologies that come with the digital age can be used for the better of awareness. Bringing perspective to endless knowledge is what can help us achieve that awareness in the digital age that we're all seeking. Sources like PolitiFact are bridging the gaps between truth and the media's influence over free thought. It is bringing the perspective and knowledge both at once. One of the most interesting parts of PolitiFact is that it removes the partisan nature of the internet and journalism by fact-checking both left and right sources of information. The truthometer that the Poynter Institute has created takes perspectives from both sides into account. With so many partisan sources, it can sometimes be very difficult to see the world from another perspective. Keeping perspective in the balance of knowledge and staying well-informed are keys to staying aware in a digital age. The thing is that we can control all of the information we retain in a digital age. Sources like PolitiFact are just the first cog in the machine of awareness. Never before have we been able to view a host of first-hand sources from every government across the globe. No longer do we have to guess how much the United States spends on nuclear missiles, because we can just take a look at the US national defense budget. We no longer have to guess the value of the Great Quebec maple syrup heist, because you can literally find the police report online. We control our takeaways from the knowledge we find on the internet. We can check sources for ourselves to make sure the knowledge is well informed. We can view journalistic pieces from both sides of the political spectrum to gain a new kind of perspective on a specific topic. At the end of the day, it's all up to how dedicated we are to our own awareness in a digital age.
The internet is a high-speed car crash. The car you're colliding with is the 18-wheeler known as misinformation.
The car you're in is the smart car of sticking to your own biases. The simple airbag of endless knowledge, the B-pillar of viewing other perspectives, and the Jesus take the wheel of staying well informed are the keys from keeping this crash from being fatal. This brings us to the final element of being aware in a digital age. It is important to be aware of issues on a global scale, but it is still just as important to be aware of the issues in your immediate life. My mother outlawed phones at the dinner table at the start of quarantine. Whenever phones were used at the table, it was usually to settle some sort of debate. Without phones, we now have to rely on our memory of events to state facts during debates. We have to discuss with each other to help us remember the facts of what we were thinking about. Eventually, the conversation steers away from debates and becomes talking about life. In a digital age, it is difficult to get lost in the world on a global scale, rather than the world closest to us. We need to spend more time talking to each other. It keeps us aware of things happening outside of the digital media. We become more aware when we are able to develop the perceptions of the people closest to us. This could easily get lost in the digital age, where every piece of information is on a global scale.
But human knowledge is about humans. So, to stay aware in a digital age, we can never forget that awareness also includes human connection.
I'll conclude with the oddly profound words of Billie Joe Armstrong. Don't want to be an American idiot. One nation controlled by the media. Information age of hysteria. It's calling out to Idiot America. This is a direct description of what happens if knowledge and perspective are not complementary in a digital age, where information, true or false, is everywhere at every time. You can't take things the way they are presented to you, without first taking a look at the complementary knowledge and perspective. Otherwise, you will end up in the metaphorical age of hysteria. We can't ignore the technology that has become a part of our daily lives. At the same time, we can't write off technology and ignore it entirely. We can't be ignorant to technology, nor can we let its power make us ignorant.
With so much knowledge available, we must remember to keep perspective in being well informed in the balance as well. Only then can we be truly aware in a digital age.